Welcome, everyone. This is Pilot Niels, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week we have with us Krister
Hello.
and Cinders.
Hello.
Hey, whoa. We
Well, at
heard
least
you
we
that time.
And I only had to say it once.
I don't know
Okay.
what we heard, but yeah.
Hey now.
Well, yeah, it was a little on the
Yeah,
quiet side, but
Oh.
we
yeah, it was
did hear
weirdly
something.
distorted at the
Hello. Yoo-hoo. I am here.
It did it again. That's awesome.
Oh, well. Let's go and see what we have in the game news this week, which isn't much, but we do have the news that next Wednesday, assuming that all goes right, we will have update 42.2, which will bring out the updates to Moria and various little tweaks to whatever's been going on with the instances. So
Hooray.
our usual second follow-up update after a major release, that sort of stuff. But in addition to it, we have the Moria opening up for the newer legendary servers, and Treebeard also getting the Far Anorian update. Now, one thing that is interesting here, they did announce that they have posted the official soundtrack for Update 40 Beneath the Surface, and that is now available on YouTube. And we have a link in there, and there are 25 tracks to this area. That's it. Track 25 is called Nazgul. I'm trying to think, when do you run into a Nazgul in Beneath the Surface, considering that they're all dead at that point?
Maybe you're thinking sadly about their loss.
See, I guess it's one of those details that I've forgotten all about. That purged from in memory. Maybe it has something to do with the raid. I don't know. Anyway, that is the official soundtrack for Update 40 Beneath the Surface. And that's actually it for the news this week. So I'm sure there'll be a lot more news next week because we will have all those things that are opening up. Plus, we have Update 42.2.
Plus no holiday.
Plus no holiday. Yes. Yes, but just had the beginning of the December crunch coming in there. They're trying to get everything done that they need before the end of the year. But we do have store sales, of course, because, well, we have Black Friday, but the Black Friday sales might be all done by the time you hear this, unless you hear it very, very early. But let's see what the sales are. Cinders.
All right. So you can get deep discounts on expansions in the LOTRO Market and the LOTRO Store through December 2nd. So they are calling it Black Friday in the LOTRO Market, and you can get deep discounts on expansions, including the Corsairs of Umbar, Before the Shadow, Fate of Gundabad, War of Three Peaks, Minas Morgul, and the Mordor Pack through December 2nd. In the LOTRO Store, the special Black Friday discounts are 75% off the Superior River Hobbit bundle, 50% off the Black Steel Keys times 5, 35% off travel maps, milestone skills, and travel skills through December 2nd. If you don't have 5-minute cooldowns, this is a great time to get them for those who are not pocket hunters and or wardens. And then the weekly sale, you can start a new journey and get 25% off your character slots, veteran status, stat packages, XP boosts through December 5th. And then the weekly coupon for Black Die is for coupon code The Door Swung Open, THEDOORSWUNGOPEN with no spaces. Now through December 5th.
And bingo, what's his name?
Once again, I highly recommend copy paste.
Yeah. Now, my question is this. what does the door swung open have to do with the color black?
Well, maybe it's like when Gandalf said Melok or Belloc or whatever he says at that door, and then the door opens, and it's like beyond it was inky blackness.
Blackness. Okay, so like the door to Moria then.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that was going to be my guess. Or really any door to a room that is not lit.
Scary.
Ooh, I
Like
feel
the
like that
kitchen.
would have been more appropriate, like Halloween time.
No, it's when you least suspect it. See, that's what the
Oh
blackness
yeah.
does. It covers
Oh,
everything, so you can't
oh,
see anything.
of course. Now I see the entire timing for it is because with Moria opening for the legendary worlds.
Ah,
So that's why.
Ah.
okay, okay.
Okay, now I understand. So
Did you
let's
like
go.
my Did you like my impressive command of the Elvish language? By the way,
Yes, it was great.
Now let's see you do entire paragraphs in Cinderin.
I don't think he had the right word.
Okay. Then let's head into our weekend gaming. Krister, what were you up to?
well, the best laid plans and fall asunder when I was confronted by the foolishness of not understanding that this was a 3 day work week. And what happens with a 3 day work week in my industry is that all 5 days is compressed into 3 days. And then on top of this, I've had this nightmarish training that I've had to do. And I had to work on it yesterday and today, which has been, I would like to say it's very non holiday work. It feels the opposite of holiday. So I have been completely overwhelmed this week and not done much gaming at all. However, I don't want to. I I can't even when I say this, it doesn't even sound real. Okay, so I don't want to shock either of you, but I have managed to free 33 inventory slots up.
How
I know
did
it
you
sounds like
do
I'm lying.
that?
It sounds like I'm lying. It sounds like I'm lying.
What
And it was
sorcery is this?
I you know what's so sad about it is I think my in-game pack readiness reflects my real life pack readiness, and so it was just getting rid of all the stuff that I've been carrying around that I'm like, I could find a feeble reason for keeping it, but there's really no justification. Like of all these cosmetics, I mean,
I've had this
tons
for
and tons.
level one.
Yeah, the thing is, I know I could get them back by doing what is the what's the
slash reclaim,
there
otherwise
we go.
known as the bane of your
I
inventory.
was gonna say the terror command that you could execute, so I know I could get it back that way, but it's just the worst part was finally giving up several of my old legendary items, which were crafted by people that no longer play. That was my whole idea of the legendary item is when what Middle Earth calls a legendary item is a potentially legendary item, and it gets legendary because this guy forged it for me, and he's never going to make another sword like this again for anybody. So that's why it's legendary. Because of course it's Cheeky Joe, which isn't the greatest Lord of the Rings name, but still, Cheeky Joe the Great forged me a weapon that no one else will ever see. Especially
Hey,
now, because I tossed it into Mordor's. I tossed it
you're
into Volcano.
you're right. Tolkien will never have a name like Cheeky Joe. He'll just have the Cinderin translation of it.
Oh, it'll probably sound really good in Cinderin. You're actually right. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I had a
sorry
friend.
that you had to give up things that were important like that, though.
Well, it is so frustrating. You just feel like such a ding dong with your inventory when you're like, how can I not? How can I not clear 75% of this stuff out? Really? How can I not clear it out? Well, I might need it for this, and I might need it for. Have you ever used it for that? Well, no. Has that ever occurred? Well, no. Get rid of it. So yeah. So anyway, so I'm very proud of the fact that I've actually gotten this far because I think even when the carryalls came out, I didn't manage to free up this much space uh, in my primary inventory. So hopefully, uh, within 30 to 40 minutes of playing, I want to fill the whole thing right back up again. But I have a feeling that's going to happen. So Cinders, what did you get up to?
Well, Pineleaf and I went adventuring in new areas. Um, we did that a couple times this week. And we're knocking out the deeds as we go. And as per usual, meddling in the affairs of others. Uh, Not to give anything away, but Rafuz, dude, I really hope his plan works. Cause if it doesn't, I'm just gonna be like, somebody should have warned you, man. Um, anyhow, he has a whole plan that we have been helping him bring to fruition, and we shall see how it goes. And then I played Cascadia for the first time. I think I did that yesterday, and I am really enjoying it. It doesn't take a long time to play around, uh, so that has been nice. I actually did two, 2.5 before the show tonight, waiting for it to be time. So I have not tried the multiplayer yet, but that is next on my list of things that I want to try. And then I did Friday Night Fights with Mythgard last night. We wiped repeatedly. And we only managed to complete the featured instance. Not the second instance that we tried, which was the new one. We made it to boss 2 in the new one, though, and I did get a nice helmet from the featured instance rewards. So that was good, but I was ready to just like pound my head against that sorry boss until we got him down and could find out what happened for the rest of it. So I've learned a few things. M doesn't mind like wiping. She just does not like being left hanging in the middle of an instance with no for sure. We're gonna come back and do that again, and we're gonna get it this time. So we did. What was the name of that featured instance, Pineleaf?
Oh, the featured instance
Yeah,
that
it was
was
odd.
see Hotha. Let's see. We could. Oh, I
Adeladil or something like that.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yes, Hothalendil.
Anyhow, the final boss. I mean, we just wiped and wiped and wiped and wiped and wiped and wiped and wiped. Because all of our gear and legendary items, like they auto set to Balerian damage, and he's like resistant to it. He's only weak to Western S. And so we tried the challenge, and that didn't go so well. And so then finally we were like, well, let's try burning down the other one first, and then we'll all pile on this one. And then that didn't work. And finally we were just like, okay, everybody pile on the big boss. Then we'll deal with the other guy later. So that was finally how we managed to beat it. And then with the new instance, that one was tough, and we didn't ever figure out how to get past the second boss. And so I might have spent part of my morning this morning working on getting better shield spikes, making sure that I have access to the best gear that I can, and refueling my food supply. So that was
there
what
you
I was
go.
up
Carbs
to.
are good.
How was your week, Pineleaf?
All right, I will begin with my lore master who finished up the final area for the latest expansion, which means now I've completed all of the content for that character. Of course, I have several more characters that still need to work through things. So now I have an understanding of what all these stories are. Then on my Runekeeper, I proved that I was better at blasting than at healing because first off, during that final boss in there, my Runekeeper was attempting to heal for that, and that didn't really work all that well. But suddenly, when I switched from healing stance to DPS stance, we did the next attempt at DPS stance, then we finally won. So then we started doing the new instance she was talking about. This is the one from the second zone, the
Near Gambir or something like that.
Yeah, it's one involving the dead is sort of the big theme on that one. So we got to
Uh,
the first boss, and we're pounding our heads against the wall against that boss again,
yeah, we
and
wiped a few times on that.
wiped a few times on that. Then we switched over. Then I once again I decided, all right, time for me to switch over into DPS stance, and we wanted. Apparently, my lightning was doing very nice damage, which is which was good, and so it looks like then that my healing wasn't keeping people alive, but my DPS was killing things before we wiped.
Now, a
So for
caveat to
Telling
what
you,
we're saying, though, we didn't have a true healer with us at all. So we had
yeah,
Pineleaf attempting to heal. And then Looney went and got his minstrel for DPS, so he wasn't in full healing mode either. Um, but he actually on that first boss, he swapped out for his mini in hopes of being able to help us get through it. And so
right.
we really probably would have done better with a more balanced group. Um,
Yeah.
but
It's so yeah. There is something though I did confirm today, and that is because it's the Runekeeper is the character that was questing with Ermelina today.
yep.
So when we were doing the questing and all that, all those quests for Rafus and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and while we were doing that, I I remembered is that I actually have two runestones on this character, and I keep on forgetting that I have that second runestone. That second runestone is the one that has all of my healing legacies on it.
No wonder you were doing so terribly healing last night.
Yeah, because so I was doing my so I was doing all my healing with my DPS legacies because I so rarely heal on that character. I keep on forgetting that I have a healing stone. And in fact, what reminded me today of it is that you know how we had that quest reward near the end where we got a golden a, a, a golden legacy.
Yeah.
Well, the one I got was a very strong healing legacy, and I said, "Oh well, it looks like I don't have that one on my item." So then I remembered, wait a minute, I got the second stone. I found the second stone, and that one did have it, and it was a yellow on that one. So swapping a yellow for a gold, of course, is a really nice
Oh,
upgrade.
for sure.
Now, of course, I have to someday actually use that runestone, but that's an entirely different matter.
well,
Sounds like
I like
Pineleaf
that.
also needs to clean out his inventory.
I like the concept though of you getting through it, and everybody's like, "Oh, we barely made that through. The healing was horrible and everything." And then you're like, oh wait, you know what? If I'd used this one, this would have been a breeze. We wouldn't have died at all. What?
I
Hey,
doubt
hey,
that.
why are you guys leaving me behind? Why are you leaving me behind?
Well, I don't think that would have been too true because I haven't been keeping that one up. I haven't been upgrading that one nearly as often as I've been. As I said, the legacy that I upgraded today was from a yellow to a gold. That tells you that if yellow is my standard for legacies on that item, it's in pretty sorry shape.
Right. I guess more to the point, it's just that moment where you get through something that was incredibly tough, and then you realize, oh, I had this primary ability disabled the entire time. Oh my god!
Yeah,
What do you mean I'm out of food? What do you mean I'm?
yeah, we had all sorts of little fun things like that.
It
And then
was
finally,
fun though.
yeah. Then on my warden, I was questing a new area and I had a weird dream. And Emeraldina should know what that weird dream is because we just had it
It
on her
was
guardian.
weird.
Yes, on that weird dream.
I will give people a heads up though. If you have vision issues, that dream sequence is not fun to look at. It's got all sorts
Oh, I
of
have to see it now.
fun little swirly designs going, and it's black and white, and nauseating.
Mm.
And you can't avoid it either because it's part of the main story quest.
And that's it for my weekend LOTRO. If you would like to send us an email comment, you could send it to podcast@lotraplayers.com. You can also, of course, reply to on the YouTube version if you're listening it on that version. And we record LOTRO Players News each week at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and we record our sister show, DDO Players News, when Drac is available. You can join our shows at lotraplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight then. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.